Aum Gangadipataye Namaha. Namaste. So before we leave this subject of the four classifications, the four levels or stages of the Vedic path, I have to revisit it one more time because I'm still getting the feedback that you don't get it, okay? We have to be able to think with this chart. What does it mean? Okay, there are four levels, okay? Four levels. The person on the first level can maybe see a little bit of the second level, but they can't really understand it. The person on the second level can understand the first level just fine because they've been there. And they're learning the second level and they're maybe just barely able to understand the third level. The people on the third level understand the first two levels, but they can't really understand the fourth level. It's beyond their experience. And of course, the people on the fourth level understand everything, but Ramana Maharshi, people like that are so rare. They're only a tiny, tiny handful on earth at any particular time. So, what does that mean in practice? If you have some friends who are sectarian religionists, Christian, Muslim, born-again Baptists or Jews or whatever, people who are committed to their religious faith, they're solid Dvaitavadis. They're into duality all the way, right? They have an eternal soul. And they're going to go be with God forever and ever. Amen. So these people cannot understand bhakti. When I became a devotee, a bhakta, and went to join my spiritual master in India, my family completely rejected me. And that was never healed. They could never grasp why I would want to go off and serve some brown guy in a dhoti on the other side of the planet. It was completely beyond them. Well, to be fair, they weren't even really 100% Dvaitavadis. They were more like, they were half and half, half animals really, still eating meat and all that. Horrible. So their minds could not grasp the ontology that God can appear in a form. This is so strange because in the beginning, people give no form to God. But maybe they do give a form to God. Like the Sistine Chapel frescoes that show God, reaching out and touching Adam and giving him life, right? So God can have a form. He can do stuff. He can be like a person. And you can worship him in that form. You can have pastimes with him in that form, and so on. So that's the Vishishtadvaita platform, Bhakti Yoga. Okay? Before you realize that, you can only do Karma Yoga. Right? And there are many, many sects that pretend to be higher levels, but are actually just Dvaitavadis, stuck in duality. The Neo-Buddhists and the Neo-Advaitins are perfect examples of that. They claim to be Buddhists or they claim to be Advaitins, but they're actually just another sectarian duality. You see? Why? Because they believe this and they don't believe that. They accept this and they deny that. That's duality. That's sectarianism. In the higher reaches of the Vishishta-dvaita, or Dvaita-dvaita, or Bheda-bheda Tattva, or Vada, or Siddhanta, the conclusion that, yes, ultimately is oneness. But at this time we're still in duality, and so we can't really realize it. But at the higher stages of that, there begins to dawn the realization that, oh my God, actually it could be all one. I remember one time when I was still in the Vishishta-dvaita mindset, I had had several experiences of oneness, of Nirguna Brahman, Brahman without form. And I was very perplexed. I was very confused. I didn't understand, couldn't understand with my present background, my present ontology, what was happening to me. So I had to go and approach different teachers, and I finally approached Rajneesh, Osho Rajneesh, and I was with him for some time to try to understand what was going on in my spiritual life, because I was getting these visions of Brahman. Wonderful, ecstatic visions. But that's another story for another day. What I'm here to say today is that in that state, I had to reach out for more knowledge, because my existing knowledge wasn't adequate to understand or explain what I was going through. So that led to the Vivartavada Platform. Now, Ramana Maharshi says in this book that his teaching, his public teaching, his open teaching that he gives to everyone, is on the Vivartavada Platform. And what does that mean? That means we know that Nirguna Brahman is the absolute, but we still see the material world. In fact, the shloka that begins Uladu Narpadu opens with the words Namulaham Kandalal, because we see the world. Because we see the world. We know, in fact, we may even have experience of Nirguna Brahman, but we still see the world as the world. We still experience the world as real. This is the Vivartavada Platform, the state of consciousness, okay? And the sadhana of, well, like the Buddha's teaching, neti. This is not it, that is not it, these are not it, those are not it, ultimately leading to nothingness, emptiness. At which point, Nirguna Brahman shows up spontaneously and self-realization occurs. The four path realizations of the Buddha leading to Arhat and Nibbana. Well, Nibbana is nothing but the self. But the self has to come spontaneously. It's not something you can do or attain. It's something that's realized. And on the Ajata platform, Ramana used to ridicule people mercilessly who would come to him with all kinds of questions. What is God? What is this? What is that? What is happening to me? And he would answer them all in the same way. To whom is this happening? Who is having this experience? Do you exist? Ramana could be so sarcastic, completely straight-faced in the way of the South Indians. but very, very sarcastic. He would say, whoever claims to be enlightened, to be self-realized, or to not be self-realized, exposes wide grounds for ridicule. He said that. So all of these teachers, Neo-Advaita and other religious teachers who go around claiming to be enlightened, are ridiculed by someone in the Ajata stage, because why? He knows well that we are already Brahman. There's nothing to realize. There's nothing to attain. There's nothing to seek. Then there's no path to seek it. This is Ajata. Ajata-vāda. It's inexplicable, inconceivable, oxymoronic. As soon as you say anything about it, it's wrong. Okay? Because the absolute cannot be described in words. Words always divide up reality into duality. Good and bad, right and wrong, black and white, in and out, up and down. You can't help it. As soon as you say X is right, it means Y is wrong, isn't it? But Y isn't wrong. Y is also a part of God. See? Just like the sectarian dualists who condemn other faiths. They say ours is right, our guru, our master, our lineage, our book, or whatever it is right, and all others are wrong. And by doing this, all they do is affirm that God has created all these other things that we don't like, or we don't know about, or we don't understand. Because by saying X is right, you're automatically saying Y is wrong. But Y has to exist. And if it exists, it's part of God. That's why people on the Ajata platform say the world is perfect. The world is all right just as it is. And everybody else is going, no, we have to improve things, or we need to be better, we need to faster or richer or thinner or something. But we have to attain something. We have to make progress. We have to get there. There has to be a path, cause and effect. So, because we see like this, Ramana came down from the Ajata platform to the Vivarta platform, and he's teaching on that platform. Yes, you have to still the mind. That means accepting that you exist, that the mind exists, that the world and God and everybody actually exists. But on the Ajata platform, actually, he knows full well that it does not. And that only awareness, or awareness of awareness, I, only the subject exists and not the object. But compromising with our mentality, he comes down a notch and he says, okay, all right, I'll grant you that your ego, your individuality, your mind, your body, the world, cause and effect, time, dimension, distance, all this good stuff is real, provisionally. I'll grant it provisional reality while you do the process of stilling the mind. Once you still the mind, Brahman will manifest automatically. And then you too will realize Ajata-vāda. And that's the aim of this work. Om Tat Sat. Aum Harihi Aum.